I am Ashley Michaud, the founder of Elemental Growth, and this is my newest article for the Psychedelic website, titled, I Overdosed My Microdose and Experienced a Kundalini Awakening. This is my story of a psychedelic awakening. It was my stepdad's 60th, and the full moon was high in the sky before the sun even had time to set. I was making some homemade chocolate in my kitchen and infusing it with some Peruvian mushrooms, the magic kind. As the chocolate set, I hopped on Instagram to check what messages were awaiting me. One message really called out. It was from a follower that was selling infused chocolates that day. Serendipity, I thought. He mentioned that a popular post I share on microdosing could use an update. The post suggests a microdose of 0.25 grams or 250 milligrams boosts mood and helps you stay present. The truth is, a microdose can be anything under 0.25 grams, and for each person, the dose and effects may be different. It's actually recommended to start with 0.05 grams or 50 milligrams and work your way up until you find your personal bliss point. In reality, I have skills, but I don't like to use them. I didn't even think it was relevant to share all the details on Instagram when I created that post. Maybe it's because of this humbling message or the consideration of overdosing a microdose, but when I ate my heart-shaped mushroom-infused chocolates that day, I overdosed. I felt the yawns, the tiredness, the desire for fresh air. I felt the nausea and desperation for a comfortable place to lie. To be honest, I didn't even know what was going on. Thankfully, I honored what my body was saying and I relaxed on my neatly made bed. It was probably about 20 minutes later that I realized, oh, I'm high. This is what an overdose microdose is. Following this epiphany, I was able to surrender and allow the mushrooms to guide me through an inevitable and humbling experience. I hopped out of my bed and got on my yoga mat. This is thankfully a ritual that has become automatic when using mushrooms at any dose. I started practicing Kundalini yoga when I first made the commitment to my own health and happiness in 2014. I'd come across a DVD set by Maya Fines. I didn't know her, I didn't know anything about the chakras or Kundalini, but I was all in. There were 7 DVDs, one for each chakra/day of the week. And when I quit alcohol and smoking cigarettes a year later in 2015, I thought it best to double up. I was practicing 1 hour of Kundalini yoga in the morning and 1 hour before bed. I experienced a Kundalini awakening during this time. It was this natural release of DMT from my lungs and pineal gland. The relaxation after strenuous fitness, both mentally and physically. The perfect meditation where not one thought is even relevant to the divine loving energy moving through my entire body. I didn't know when I hopped on my yoga mat this day that I was going to have my breakthrough. My only intention when dosing was to enjoy love-filled chocolates from my stepdad on his 60th birthday, then journal under the moonlight until I was ready for dream time. I was happy to be alone in my own private space because once I began my yoga practice, I was in it. I was in flow. I was releasing toxins and going really deep into my breath and body. I felt it right then. The integration was happening. That moment when everything becomes one. When a fierce energy begins rising from the seat of my soul, healing and strengthening through the spine. The moment when breath and blood generate heat, creating alchemy inside of my only real home, my body. I remember being on all fours with my tongue out as far as I could reach, practicing lion's breath. Then the real magic began. Laughter. Truly the best medicine. As I pushed through any hell blockages and fears, I was reborn with renewed energy and a sense of freedom. I was liberated. I met up with my stepdad for a cannabis session a couple hours later. We were both quiet, looking outside. I remember thinking as I looked out that I'm free. I knew in that moment that life wouldn't be the same. My attitude had changed. My body was in homeostasis. I felt so good that I went out and watched the waves down at the lake when the sun finally did set for the night. Kundalini is a sacred energy. It's this serpent energy said to lie coiled at the base of the spine 7 times. It's the space between each coil that the chakra energy is trapped. It's only when we let the Kundalini rise that the chakras open and we begin to heal and unlock our inner wisdom. The Caduceus symbol is still seen today in most doctors' offices and hospitals around the world, symbolizing alchemy. This is the staff with the 1 to 2 snakes wrapped around. When we keep that Kundalini energy stagnant, sitting around, eating food-like products, consuming media, and drifting through life. Side note, please see Napoleon Hill's book, Outwitting the Devil, to read up on the drifter. It's when we're doing things like this that we lose our life force energy. When we resist growth and put off introspective work, the self-actualization, we force the Kundalini energy down, and as we force, we get hurt. Kundalini bites hard, wounding you on the way down, allowing toxins to enter your blood and hormonal glands. This means even more work and healing will need to be done when you're ready to heal yourself and work with this energy again. It's not your fault if you keep repeating patterns, if you're not living your full potential yet. We've been conditioned that this stuff is witchcraft. That Enki, the snake from the Garden of Eden stories, was bad. That eating from the tree of knowledge is bad. That every human must now suffer at the hands of Eve and Enki, the serpent, devil, snake. But what if Enki was just an expression for Kundalini energy? What if the planet is Eden? What if Eve actually saved us all by allowing us the opportunity to tap into the divine? After all, in Genesis, it was written that human was forbidden to eat from the fruit of God, for they would become just like us. From my direct experience, Kundalini awakening is much easier and meditation is much quicker to achieve with a little help from psychedelic medicine. Doing some hot cold therapy, practicing breathwork, and mantras are all great ways to naturally enhance the experience too. The last takeaway that I think you may find relevant since we're still on a COVID-19 lockdown is to allow. A really clear message came through that it's time to allow healing, allow others in, allow your inner child, allow fun, allow laughter, allow let go, allow relaxation, allow. You see, what's awesome about both psychedelics and Kundalini is they both teach us that we don't get by force. We receive when we realize that what we want to attract has always been there. Everything we need is inside of us. We just have to open up and allow it to flow. I'm so happy and grateful for you being a part of this psychedelic revolution, and Psychedelic for allowing me this space to share with you. As always, I'm sending you much love and positivity on your elemental growth journey. I'm going to go play with my giggle bug over there now. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I love you all so much.